So here's the question. As a real estate investor, how do you build a business that you're excited to show up to every day, while you constantly grow your stream of passive income that you and your family can depend on for life, without having to leave your computer or even live somewhere that houses are affordable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Brian Elwood.
What's up, guys? Brian Elwood here. Welcome back to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast. If you guys have not gotten your free copy of my book, you got to check it out. I basically am talking about how I replaced myself in the role of the acquisition manager in our company, and how I no longer go on appointments, take phone calls, make offers, analyze leads, get contracts signed, or follow up. The contracts just come into our business automatically on autopilot. It's an amazing, amazing thing. It's to date, the most powerful hire we've ever made is that of the acquisition manager. So if you want to get your free copy, go to fireyourself.net. fireyourself.net. Hope everybody's doing great today. I am just driving back from dropping a friend off at his hotel here in Denver. We had a great day out in Boulder, Colorado yesterday, doing some hiking and exploring the city. Boulder, Colorado is actually the up-and-coming startup hub of the United States. Everyone knows San Francisco to be the place where all of the tech stuff happens, all the app companies are born, and Boulder is actually up there. I think it might be, number 2 or number 3 in terms of like tech startup companies. So it's pretty cool to check it out. And another weird fact is if you've seen that Netflix episode about JonBenet Ramsey, it was like a young girl who was killed, and it's this murder mystery kind of a story. It's really crazy. There was a special on TV about it too, and we drove by her house yesterday actually, because that all happened in Boulder. Pretty crazy story. Anyways, so let's get down to business. Last episode we started to talk about the power of hiring the acquisition manager, and what to do, if you're just getting started and you're not really sure if you're qualified to make this hire. So I want to give you some more tips for success on making this hire in your business. So I'm going to assume that, you've run the job ad and you've got candidates and you know what to pay them. I covered that on the last episode as well. So what's next? Well, the next thing for you guys to do is a couple of personality tests that are really, really important. They are the Kolbe test and the DISC test. They're probably the 2 most widely used personality tests for the job world. I've taken both of them. I've had everyone in our company take both of them. My business partner's taken them. And we've learned a ton about kind of what our personalities are like and what you're supposed to look for. And so let me just quickly go over what you need to do with these tests in terms of an acquisition manager. So the Kolbe test is, I believe, $50. So you might not interview more than 1 or 2 candidates on this one just because it costs money. And it rates you in, I believe, 4 key areas. The main thing you want to look for in the Kolbe test is if somebody is a quick start personality. That's like the key thing for the Kolbe test. And it'll be from 0 to 10 is how you'll be rated on that. And you want to make sure that the person that you hire is a minimum of a 6 on the quick start scale. If they're not, I'm serious, don't hire them and go look for somebody else. If you're listening to this, you're probably a quick start person. Quick start people, that basically means you find out a little bit of information and you just run and take action. You're just like, let's do this. And I'll just, I'm going to dominate. And you just, action taker, massive action taker. It's how a lot of the CEOs of companies are, the founders, the people that own them, the entrepreneurs, a lot of them, you pretty much have to be quick start to be successful, or at least partner with somebody who's quick start. And so 6 through 10 is where you're looking on that scale. And again, that's Kolbe, Kolbe. Some of the other measurements on there, like fact finder, follow through, implementer. Fact finder is sort of the opposite of quick start. It's like you're the type of person who sits back and gathers all the facts before you act. And that, is not a helpful trait as an acquisition manager. You want your acquisition manager to just be like, man, just give me the leads. I'll call every single one. I'll be at every house. I'm going to leave off, offers on every kitchen table. We're going to get this done. Like, that's the personality you want in your acquisition manager. You don't want somebody who's timid or scared or hesitant or asks a lot of questions and needs their hand held. That's not the personality of a good sales rep at all. So that's the Kolbe test, and the DISC test, DISC, is the other of the two. And there's actually a free DISC test. If you just Google DISC test Tony Robbins, you'll see the link. It currently comes up, when you Google that. And I guess Tony Robbins somehow has a free DISC test on his website. And a lot of people use that from there. And so there's also 4 variables on the DISC test that you want to look at when your candidates take this. And the 2 that you're really after are dominant and influence, DI. So in general, you want a high DI person when they take the DISC test. They need to be dominant, but also influential. When I say dominant, you think like of somebody who's going to dominate the conversation and be kind of like the alpha male and be aggressive. It's not like that at all. That's not good sales. But they need to be a calm and assertive person that's able to take charge of the situation at the right times. That's important for sales. They can't just be kind of a wimp who hangs back and, gets interrupted and lets the customer, lead them, rather than the alternative. So high DI on the DISC test and a high quick start, 6 or higher on the Kolbe test. Critical stuff. Test your candidates on those 2 things. Another tip I'll give you real quick is once you've narrowed this down, even if you've narrowed it down to just like one person, which is not ideal. Of course, you'd rather have a couple people to kind of test against each other. But regardless, you've got it down to 1 to 3 candidates, let's say, and you're trying to make a hiring decision. This little tip will save you so much time and energy. So what you want to do is create a little contest for the top candidates to actually see how they work, because you'll interview them and they'll tell you that they're great and everything. You'll want to believe them, but what people say and how they actually work is extraordinarily different. So you create the contest to figure out what they work like when the rubber meets the road. And the contest I put my guys through is I'll call it 100 of my leads, maybe old dead leads that we haven't really been able to do anything with. And I'll give each of the acquisition managers the same list of leads. Or if you wanted to, you could divide them up so they're not calling the same people. And if you don't have leads, you can use everything that's listed on the MLS or Zillow, or like have them reach out to wholesalers and see what deals they've got available. But I think you can see what I'm getting at here. The bottom line is you're trying to see how they work and how they can generate results. And you give them 1 week, just guys, it's going to start Monday morning and it's going to end on, Friday afternoon. And then I'll analyze the results. You send me what you got, and then I'll make a decision that next Monday. And you basically just tell them, call these leads, try to set up appointments, see if people are motivated, get this information from them, etc. The same stuff they're going to be doing once, they get hired. And then the crazy thing is you'll find that once people are actually asked to do the work that they're going to have to do, a lot of the people will just kind of shrink away and disappear. I mean, there's been times where we've had a guy that we thought was going to be the best acquisition manager in the world, and we were pretty much ready to hire them, but we put them in the contest, and by Tuesday, they just dropped out. They just quit, never heard from them again. So think if we hadn't done the contest, we would have never known that about them. We would have hired them, spent, at least 2 to 4 weeks training and onboarding them, getting them all set up in payroll and everything, and making them sign all the contracts and non-compete and do the background check and all that stuff, and only to find out that they weren't cut out for the job. It's terrible. And it's definitely happened. There was a time where we hired a guy and he quit 2 days later. So for you to avoid that, do this little contest. In fact, you should do this for every hire you make. We have a guy who analyzes leads for us full time, and he was the best of the crop of candidates that applied for that job. And what we did is had them all analyze the same set of 100 leads, and we saw who did it the most thoroughly and the fastest and the best, and he was the clear winner. So that contest portion to me speaks volumes. It speaks almost more than like a resume or the interview even does, because you get to see how they work. And if you really don't like the idea of trying to ask people to work for free, then just pay them a little bit for that week during the contest. Pay them $100, $200 each. That way it's, it's more fair, because if they don't get the job, at least they get paid something for their, for all the calls they had to make. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to go over today. There's a lot more that goes into this hire. And if you want the comprehensive book where I tell you every single thing you need to do to make this hire the right way, go to www.fireyourself.net and get your free copy of my new book. The book's called Fire Yourself, and it will help you dominate in your market by making this one crucial hire, the acquisition manager, and doing everything the right way. I give you everything you need to be successful in that book. The job postings, the interview questions, the tech tools we use, how to onboard and train them, how to manage them ongoing and build out your sales process and use certain techniques to convert better on appointments. Everything you need is in that book. So check it out, fireyourself.net. Till next time, see you guys later. Peace.
Want more? Get your free copy of Brian's book that is changing real estate businesses everywhere. Just go to www.fireyourself.net. Also, register for your free virtual real estate investing online masterclass at virtualinvestingclass.com.